Hello and welcome. We made it to Sestriere in the Italian Alps, 2,000 metres above sea level, alongside Phil Sesemann, preparing for that Paris Games in a few months' time. I mean, Phil, firstly, why Sestriere?
I've came out here because my training partner, Emil Caress, was coming out here with his coach, Renato Canova. I've done a lot of training with Emil over the years. I trained with Emil and Renato's group in Kenya in January. That helped me kind of qualify for Seville, and sat down with my coach at the start of this Olympic prep, and we just said, like, do we do this in Leeds? Do we go to St Moritz? Do we go to Sestriere? And we felt that this was the best place for me to get pushed and train with people whilst I'm here, so this is why we're here.
And how long are we here for?
I'm doing 5.5 weeks, so it's my longest ever training camp, which is a strain. Like, I'm someone who, I'd love to be in Leeds, and if I had altitude there, I'd be training there. I get homesick, like I miss my partner, my dogs. I do find it tough, but I know that I need to be here to be at my best on August 10th.
And since Seville, it's been pretty intense training. Obviously that short recovery period and pretty intense training. You haven't raced bar the road relays. Yeah. Reasons for that?
I jumped into the road relays initially, mainly because it was early in the period of training. I knew that I wouldn't be in like great shape, but it's a really good race where even if things are going badly, you still have to lever it for the team. Like, you've got other people relying on you. So I find that even when you're not very fit, you can still get quite a good performance out. So I found that, yeah, that was useful for that period. And then I did aim to kind of compete at other races. I wanted to do the high 10,000 metre races, but unfortunately I had some plantar fascia issues and just probably could have got on the race if you were allowed to wear kind of carbon shoes, but kind of given it was spikes for 10,000, it just wasn't a sensible option to do.
You're a man who's learned from every marathon block you've done. You've PB'd pretty much every marathon you've ever done. How does this differ then, preparing for a championship marathon? Because this is a little bit of an unknown. I know you've done the Europeans, but a little bit of an unknown for you now.
Yeah, there is some changes. I think one big thing is the course is really hilly, so it's preparing for that. It's August in Paris, so it could be really hot, so it's preparing for that. And then psychologically, it's like a little bit different because you're going to go into the race and you're going to have to deal with following moves, not following moves, just knowing to really gauge your effort, which is very different when you go into a pace race, like a big city marathon. You know where the pacemaker is going to do, you know what speed you're going to be running, and it's quite relaxing, at least the first half or so. You can let people go and know that, yeah, that's not my pace, like that's fine. Whereas in this race, you have to make those decisions on the fly. So definitely a little bit more preparation on that mental side of things.
And then to touch on that, you know, we saw you training this morning alongside Emil and Zarai. Is it quite good to train with those guys? It gives you that kind of championship feel when you get a bit detached?
Yeah, it's tough, to be honest. These guys are really, really fit. Like, all three of the guys that I trained with this morning have got European silver medals in the last couple of years, or golds. And I'd say that's like a couple levels above where I'm at, really, as an athlete. So I can hang on for bits of sessions, but I can't hang on for full sessions, and that's just kind of given me like that mental kind of practice for the race. Like, there's going to be points in the race where people are going to go up the road and I might be running solo, or I might be running in a small group and seeing a lot of guys go up the road and thinking, well, like, I know what my effort, I know what I can do, so I just need to keep my effort steady and be able to finish strongly, and hopefully I can pick off a few of the stragglers towards the end.
One thing which is interesting is how you prepare, obviously for Paris, doing a little bit more hill work. How has that affected your training? Because it's something that you don't usually incorporate.
No, I live on the Leeds-Liverpool Canal towpath right next to it, and I go and train on the York-Selby cycle path, and I can run 130 mile a week and get like 2,000 foot of elevation across the whole week. So yeah. It's very different for me.
And how much are you doing here in sort of elevation?
It's at least 3 or 4 times that. Yeah, so wow. It's a fair bit more. And
per week?
Yeah, per week.
So you're getting near 10,000 feet of elevation?
No, more like 7, 8 kind of thing. But wow. we're like, some of our runs we're just running around the track because we're trying to avoid the hills, and some of them we're going to less hilly routes to run, but we're still getting elevation in like a lot more than I'm used to. And then there's the odd session where we're incorporating the hills here, which with the double whammy of altitude as well, and that oxygen deprivation does make it pretty tough.
And is the recovery worse because of it?
I
between
think so.
Sessions?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. But at this point in the training block, like, you don't need to be tapering to feel good in your sessions. You need to just put down a sustained period of work, and it might be that, yeah, it's really rough for a few weeks, but hopefully you come out really fit once you do start freshening up.
Okay, then, and in plans for the big one, when do you leave? Are you excited to leave?
Yeah. So I go home on July 25th. I'll be back in Leeds for 12 days or so. Do a little bit of heat prep there with the team there, the physiologists and my coach. Do the final touches, a couple sessions with Emil that we've got planned, and then both me and Emil will head out on August 7th to Paris.
Do you have a goal?
I'm going to be about 75th ranked, I think, out of about 85 or so in the field. So to me, I kind of feel like if I can continue doing what I've done in marathons, I've improved each time I've raced. The goal for me is going to be, somewhere around top 20. If I can do that, and if on a perfect day, maybe a little bit higher than that. But yeah, you have to be realistic going into these races, and if you say something silly like you're shooting for a medal, one, you're a bit delusional for me at my level of performance, and also if you try and race like that, you're going to have a really rough second half. So yeah, it's just being sensible, running within my limits, but also pushing them as high as I can get them.
And of course, exciting times beyond Paris as well. Baby on the way. How are you planning for that?
Yeah, no, my partner and I are really, really excited. So November, so it's a big year for us.
Fantastic, mate. Well, best of luck.
Thank you. I appreciate it.